Well, now that 2019 has come to an end, if I could describe 2019 with only two words, they'd be amazing and exhausting. Now, before I get too far into this video will be cruise related, but we'll also have a bit of a personal side to it, mainly involving school. So let's reflect on the year of 2019. 2019 has been a pretty insane year of my life. This year's gone by so quickly, it feels like just yesterday. I was on my boat at work on New Year's Eve, on my final day working at Walt Disney World on my college program. In 2019, I've seen so much progress within myself, life, school, and even on YouTube. Right after we rang in the new year on 2019, my Disney college program came to an end, and I had to say goodbye to a lot of really good friends that I've made over the last several months while working there. Days later, it was time to hit the books and start a new semester of college. Throughout 2019, I've managed to take 3 full semesters worth of classes, or about 15 courses, over the entire year. I got a lot of school done this year, and I'm really proud of myself for that. And it's been really, really challenging, but it was all worth it now that I am officially a senior in college, entering my senior year. Quickly after the semester started came March, which meant it was time for spring break. It honestly is hard to put into words how much fun I had over the course of spring break. It all started with a ship tour of the beautiful Carnival Breeze, which is one of my favorite Carnival ships I've ever sailed on. And then that afternoon, Justin and I did some ship spotting. We saw the Breeze and the Disney Fantasy sail away. The next day, Justin and I boarded the Carnival Liberty for a 4-night cruise to the Bahamas. As I mentioned in the vlog series from that cruise, the Carnival Liberty, back in 2018, I was offered a job with Carnival Cruise Line as a member of the Fun Squad as an activity host, and the Liberty was actually the ship I was assigned to, and ended up not choosing to take that job due just several different reasons factored into that, but I ended up not taking that job because the Liberty was the ship I assigned to. That alone puts the Liberty in kind of a special place with me. I don't know why it still does, even though I never really went. I don't know what it was about the Liberty that I loved so much about it, but every minute I spent on that ship was an absolute blast. I loved that ship so much. I'd love to sail on her again, actually. I've tried several times just looking at cruises, and she always ends up in one of my choices. I don't know why. But I really, really loved the Liberty, and I'd love to go back on her. And honestly, in my review video that I made, I had nothing but great things to say about that ship. We sailed from Port Canaveral over to Nassau, and then made our way over to Freeport, and then back to Port Canaveral. After we debarked the Liberty, we hit the road the first thing in the morning and headed to South Florida for a ship tour of the Carnival Victory the following day. Then did some ship spotting afterwards. Throughout that week, we were on board a total of 3 different ships, and from a ship spotting standpoint, we saw about 14 different ships throughout that 1 week during spring break. It was by far one of the craziest, busiest, and most fun weeks of my life. I honestly would 100% do it again. Unfortunately, this year in 2020, Justin and I have different spring breaks, so that kind of stinks, but anyways, moving on. Once spring semester came to an end, it was time for another cruise, this time on board the beautiful Carnival Horizon. I am a huge fan of the Vista-class ships, so I was very, very excited for this cruise. If you remember, back in 2018, in September, I made a trip down to the Port of Miami because it was the first time Carnival Horizon ever docked in the Port of Miami, and it was also the final time that Vista ever left. So that was the first time those 2 ships ever met, and I went out of my way and went all the way down to Miami and saw those 2 ships, which is really, really cool experience. That was a lot of fun. I had the drone out for that day. We embarked the Horizon for a 6-day cruise to Jamaica, Grand Cayman, and Cozumel. I absolutely loved the Horizon. It was definitely my favorite Carnival ship until next year on the Mardi Gras. That series was very successful. Honestly, I had a lot of views and a lot of growth on this channel from that series. So very, very, very thankful for that, and that was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, after the Horizon, that was my last cruise of 2019. But I can say they were both some of the best cruises I have ever been on out of 35 cruises. After the Horizon, it was back to school, taking some summer classes, doing a little bit of work, and until August, really nothing happened. In August, I went down to Orlando, spent some time with my grandparents, and spent a few days at Disney. which was a lot of fun, and saw a lot of good friends that were still down there. And after that, it was time for fall, and nothing really happened until about October. At the end of October, most of you probably remember this because it was pretty recent, but I caught a flight down to Tampa to meet up with Justin, who you see on this channel a lot. We went down for a weekend full of ship spotting and cruise ship activities. We started out with an early morning in Port Everglades doing some ship spotting, which was really exciting because that was the first time I'd ever been there to do some ship spotting. And it was extremely early in the morning too. I think we got up around 3:45 in the morning, which was totally worth it. That was a lot of fun. And that afternoon, we went down to Miami and did a ship tour, spent a few hours on board the Carnival Conquest. And then we did some ship spotting, and I did make the big announcement that I will be sailing on the Symphony of the Seas in 2020 because we saw her that day. I thought it was pretty fitting to announce that. The following day, it was back in Miami for some more ship spotting, and that day was the one we pretty much planned the whole weekend around because Norwegian Joy was there for the very first time in Port of Miami. Before that, she spent a lot of her life over in China until earlier in 2019, where she was brought over to do some Alaska cruises. But that was a very, very fun weekend, and it was really difficult because it was thrown in right in the heart of the semester with school. So I honestly remember doing homework and working on a project while, like, at the end of the day, or like even in the car sometimes, working on schoolwork and studying because I had a test the next day, like as I got back. Which is a terrible idea. But it was a lot of fun. And after that, really nothing else too exciting really happened. The fall semester ended. I officially became a senior in college, which is extremely exciting. 2020 will definitely be one of the most exciting years of my life. Although we don't have any ship tours planned right now, I could pretty much guarantee there will be several tours throughout the year. So far, I do have 2 cruises officially booked. I'll be on Symphony of the Seas May 16th, and I am absolutely in love with the Oasis class ships, so I'm very excited to do another cruise, and it's been 5 years since I've sailed with Royal Caribbean anyways, and that was on the Oasis of the Seas for my high school graduation. So I'm very excited. Honestly, if it shows how much I love the Oasis class, I actually saw in 2018, I saw Symphony of the Seas arrive into the United States for the very first time. Justin and I went out to Port Canaveral that day and spent pretty much the whole day out there filming the ship. So I'm very, very excited for Symphony of the Seas. That's going to be a very fun cruise. And then we also have the Carnival Mardi Gras, which is my college graduation cruise. So extremely excited for that. We have another Havana Cabana and a Havana interior room. We have my family of 4 is split between the 2 cabins. I absolutely loved the Havana Cabana on board the Carnival Horizon back in May. So that was kind of the reasoning why we booked the cabana on the Mardi Gras as well. Mardi Gras will be Thanksgiving of 2020, and following the delay of Carnival Mardi Gras in the shipyard, I am now officially on the second ever sailing of Mardi Gras, meaning I'll have some of the very first footage of the ship, and it's one of the most highly anticipated ships of like the last several years. So extremely excited to bring some of the first footage of that for you. And honestly, I'm sitting at 23 Carnival cruises right now, and to reach the 25 cruise milestone, I am looking into doing something with Carnival. So maybe we can throw something quick and short in there because for milestones, they only count by cruises, which I only need 1 more to make Mardi Gras the 25th, which you get a little bit of special perks. You get a lot of onboard credit, and you even get like a special card that says milestone. It's white, has all sorts of really cool, or it has like some cool design on it. So really excited for that. I really want to make the Mardi Gras my milestone cruise, and I really only have to fit in 1 Carnival cruise before that. So I think that might be possible. I know Justin and I are looking into another standby cruise possibly in May, like literally days before the Symphony. So that'd be pretty cool if we can fit that in. Who knows? There will for sure be a lot of vlogs coming up for the year of 2020. And graduation in December, I'll be starting a very new, exciting chapter of my life. Thank you guys for joining me on an incredible journey called 2019, and I can't wait to bring you along through 2020 as well. Thank you for watching. I hope everybody had a safe and happy new year, and here's to making 2020 the best year yet. Thanks for watching.